Welcome back to UNX Fast Forward. I'm Ethan Swanson.
And I'm Chris Ganji, and we are in our third round of open qualifiers coming off of Ultimate Ninjas St. Louis, one of our best qualifiers yet.
If not the best, and we have 3 more men and 3 more women making their way to the major event, trying to get to that championship. We're looking for our top 8 men, top 8 women to get to that championship. But from this qualifier, on the women's side, taking the first qualifying spot, Rachel Brown, followed by Jessie Byer taking the second qualifying spot, and the third qualifying spot going to Ava Long.
And in the men's side, taking the qualifying spots, Michael Torres in first, RJ Roman and Johnny Wilder all coming to the major, not to mention Kaden Lebsack, who actually took first. First. Who's guaranteed to the major.
Guaranteed to the major. Same with Maggie Owen on the women's side, who took second place overall. But this course was a 3:45-minute time limit, and it was very technical. A lot of new obstacles, new things, weird moves put together by Jamie Ron, and there's a lot of awesome things to unpack.
I loved the creativity from Jamie. A lot of new obstacles, things that we haven't seen before. You know, one of my favorite obstacles from the competition was definitely the monkey lock.
Right, one of our ninja killers took out 38% of the athletes who got there. It's so brutal on your fingertips, and you have to force that peg to not move on you. A lot of moves, took out a lot of athletes.
Well, because what you're holding is free spinning. And so if you're not like engaging all of your muscles, that thing's going to spin on you and you're going to lose your grip.
I love that we saw so many different techniques. Figure 4, straight arm, going backwards, forwards, bent. You know, I mean, it's just, there's so many things. There were skips on the last move, and the dismount, that was a lot of fun to watch.
The dismount was pretty intense. And like, I love that there was a lot of creativity involved in this obstacle. And it's an obstacle, like, it's monkey bars, but it's a different spin on it with having to use that peg. I loved it.
And none of the women got past that obstacle. But another big ninja killer, the biggest of all of them, the logic maze, the last obstacle, 75% fail rate. A combination of time limit getting there, and it's just so pumpy at the end of the course.
It's super pumpy at the end of the course, and I think it was, you know, the landing platform was a little bit deceiving. You saw some athletes try to make early dismounts, didn't quite get there, and, you know, we also saw some athletes struggle to make it up, you know, midway through, and they slid back down. I mean, there was so much to this obstacle.
Yeah, it was so much fun to watch. This was one that Jamie Ron created, built himself, and it was amazing. But, you know, 8 athletes got there, only 2 of them finished, which we talked about, Kaden Lebsack and Michael Torres having success on this obstacle.
Huge performances from those 2, and it's not easy to finish a Jamie Ron course, but they did it.
No, it is not. And I want to go right into our big-time moments. There were so many awesome things that happened, starting off with Dave Kavanaugh being the first to do the skip on the doggy doors, sliding that first door over, going, I don't need that second door, and just going right to the ring.
Well, yeah, I thought that was a big move, and it takes a lot of confidence to throw a move like that, to just completely skip a hold on an obstacle.
Well, the king is not short on confidence.
The king is definitely not, he's definitely not short on confidence, but it's one of the things that we talked about with him being in isolation is he comes up with creative ways to get through obstacles.
Right, and that's why the majors play to him. He's not making his way to the major, but we've seen cool stuff, amazing stuff from him in the qualifiers. But another big-time moment, Thomas Stillings using the figure 4 technique on the monkey lock. We saw he was the first one to do it, and we saw Jesse Lucero try it later. Very technical, taking a little bit more time, but so safe and controlled.
Yeah, really safe. We saw some athletes trying to lock off, but their legs would be swinging a lot, and they would pop out. And so the figure 4 technique really makes sure that you're locked in. I thought it was really smart to see that from Thomas.
Right, another big time one from Gary Park on the dismount of the monkey lock, just one arming on that peg and swinging through. We've seen a lot of other athletes having to take multiple swings. It's a little weird transition to it, but for Gary, just one arm. No big deal.
One arm. I'll just go for this.
And then also Johnny Wilder on the doggy doors doing the same skip as Dave, but one up him a little bit, not sliding over and just going underneath that second door. I honestly don't know how he didn't smash his head on it.
I don't either. I mean, you got to stay underneath that hold and kind of like dodge it as you're going through. But I mean, it worked out for him.
Another huge save. I have no idea how Ahmad Johnson hung on, but he peeled off and held on one arm on the monkey lock.
Yeah, I mean, so impressive. It's such a great display of how strong this guy is and the grip strength that he has to hold on to that free spinning monkey lock and at the same time to not have it pop out on him.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, he did save it and then he popped out right after that, but that save right there was sick. I don't think I can hang like that.
Crazy. No, I don't think I can do that.
And then Maggie Owen, her dismount off of the acorn, her heels were just barely above the ground. It was so awesome, but she saved it and then took that second place spot.
Yeah, really heart-stopping moment there. It's hard to tell if her heels, but Jamie was right there. And really scary.
And off of our big time moments into our biggest time moments, our UNX top 4, first of which Kaden Lebsack being the first finisher to break through later in the run order. Nobody's getting through this, and there's so many amazing athletes that couldn't do it, and Kaden broke through.
Not only to break through, but to be at his age and to step up in this moment and to finish this course. Big time moment.
Man, the whole place blew up. When he did, everyone, I'm getting chills just thinking about it, honestly. Like, the whole place went absolutely wild.
Yeah.
It was so sick. And our second UNX top 4 moment, Rachel Brown, again on the acorn, getting even closer than Maggie did. And you saw her when she landed, her heels were so close, and she landed and looked right at Jamie, and Jamie's, yep, you're good. So she keeps moving on.
Yeah, Rachel Brown, I mean, making that dismount solidified her first place and brought her to the major. So that's a huge moment there.
That is a huge win for her, especially with the spot she's sitting in 9th place in the season. She needs to be at that major, and now she is.
Yeah.
Yep. Our next moment, this one was probably my favorite out of all of them. Michael Torres on the ladder limbo, getting a backswing, going down to that second to last rung, and using that to have a ton of more momentum than getting the dismount a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, the cleanest that we saw it the entire day, and he was the last runner, so nobody else could kind of copy that. Last one to go, and just so smart for him to build that.
The thing is, I don't know how many people would have copied that. That is a very specific move that he and I actually have been training for a while, and he used it in the perfect spot, because then you don't have to worry about, am I going to get enough swing on the front and peel out like we saw Caleb Bersham peel out. I thought that was an expert move, expertly executed, and it worked out great for him. He ends up qualifying and finishing that course.
Yeah, I've seen him work that move, and such a smart place to use it. And here we go, into the 3rd major.
Yep. And our last moment, the top moment from last week, we'll see if anybody can unseat our top UNX top moment.
Yeah. Make sure you guys go to Instagram and vote on these moments so that we'll see which one comes back next week to challenge next week's moments.
Right. But right now, want to go into our obstacle highlight on the ladder limbo itself. Such a cool, unique obstacle. Let's see some more action on ladder limbo.
Absolutely love this obstacle. One, because it's a staple obstacle that you see in a lot of gyms, but such a creative twist on it.
And forcing them to go down in a meaningful way to where then the further down you go, the easier the dismount becomes. And I think that was genius from Jamie.
But if you go too low, the dismount gets a little bit harder because you got to keep your feet up, and so there's that added element of like what's the prime spot. And I think Michael Torres, just a perfect demonstration of how to get through this.
I loved it. I loved it. But, I mean, Ultimate Ninja St. Louis was so stacked, such a great competition. But where we're going next, Real Life Ninja Academy in Stamford, Connecticut for the 3rd qualifier is already sold out, and we had to open up more spots, sold out again. It's going to be an insane competition put together by Drew Dreschel, so you know there's going to be some crazy, crazy things. I just get more and more excited as the season goes on.
It's getting unbelievable, and especially now coming down to the wire, coming down to the championship, everyone's kind of, you got to scramble to get in, try to earn those points, and the storylines are amazing, and I cannot wait to see what Drew puts together.
Yep, and we're going to see that next week. On Saturday, we'll see all that action as we're getting closer to Real Life Ninja Academy in Stamford. But until then, I'm Ethan Swanson.
And I'm Chris Ganji. Make sure you guys check us out on YouTube and unxnow.com.